Now you might just because I think this is the speaker. So it might be beneficial for you to.
There's a
I am not Holly. Well, I am Holly, but I think this might be a different Holly. Unless my phone suddenly decided it wanted to join.
Hello.
Hi. How is everyone?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you guys too. We came from Story City, so I woke up in a panic at 4:30 in the morning thinking I overslept. Oh man, you guys got a busy day ahead of you?
Oh, it's been kind of a busy week, but it's been a good week though. I'm ready for the weekend though.
No, we are too. I'm glad you guys could pop on. I know we wanted to wait a little bit until we got started, and we're gonna record this. So for anybody that does miss out on just the live presentation, it'll get with Tiffany and it can be shared from there. So I appreciate you hopping on.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. I think honestly, we'll just go ahead and get started. Just now that it's recording, we'll be good to go. So I do have my team here with me. So I've got Millie, who you can't quite see, but she's going to be moderating. She's our marketing director. So a lot of what you see content-wise is coming from her. Feel free to reach out anytime. I've got Cassidy and Niall here with me as well, and Niall will help with the presentation. And then my name is Holly. I work pretty closely with Tiffany in the partnership, and then we've this is my team, so I'm director of operations. But who are you with, Holly?
Sorry, I pushed mute. I'm with DMOS Orthopedic Centers, and we've got we're going to be having a 4th location in Urbandale this spring, but we've got 3 other locations where we've got 2 ambulatory surgery centers, and then we do physical therapy and other stuff as well aside from surgery. So.
No, that's fantastic. So have you guys been at the chamber for a pretty long time then?
We just joined actually. Just joined.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been involved with the Urbandale Chamber in the past, but not in this capacity with DMOS. So yeah, we're excited to be part of it. So
we are too. I attended a big Mid-American Chamber conference with Tiffany and Gina, like not 2 weeks after we partnered, and I met with them the first time. And so we had a very fun relationship building conference to attend in Sioux Falls. And so that's how long we've been chamber members. I know they're amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen Gina today, but just met Fletcher. And so, yeah, hopefully we'll see each other at an event here soon.
I think absolutely. I look forward to it.
Absolutely. We do too. So, but yeah, just to kind of get started. So again, my name is Holly. I work with Midwest Pano. We're chamber exclusive partners. And so we joined in this partnership because what we do for businesses is really meant for any industry, and it's designed to just increase the Google business profile. And so what we do is specific. We are Google certified panoramic photographers, and we've been doing this for about 15 years. My boss, Vince, the CEO of our company, has been doing it for that long. And again, my name's Holly, so I'm the director of operations, and then I've got Niall here as well, and he'll be speaking as well.
Yeah, so my name's Niall. I'm a senior account executive with Midwest Pano. I've been about 6 months since I've joined the team, and it has been a phenomenal experience. I love being able to work with the chamber businesses and really just help to optimize their profile to grow the communities. It's kind of what I'm all about, and it's just been a blast. I love working with the Urbandale Chamber.
All right, and so yeah, that would be Niall. And so then, yeah, just a little bit about us. So we're actually located out of Story City, so we can really go all throughout the state of Iowa. And our main photographer Harrison, and our boss Vince are the 2 certified photographers with our company, so they can really work within the state. What's nice about Urbandale is that it's really not too far away, about a 45, 50-minute drive from Story. And so a brief company history. Before Google started introducing the Street View car to Google Maps and things like that, my boss, Vince Sabatino, and some partners created a company called Virtual Rabbit in 2009. And so they were already doing some of that virtual tour photography for real estate and for businesses for about 5 years. And then Google introduced and launched their See Inside program, which is how the Google Street View card does the mapping for Google Maps. And so Google wanted to introduce that same idea just for the inside of businesses. So they hired about 6,500 photographers, just across the country. And Vince jumped on board right away because competing with Google would have been a little bit harder to handle than he was ready for. And so we wanted to just jump on board and learn their ways, learn their system, and use their technology. And so he ended up jumping on board and became the first Iowa photographer back in like the 2012, 2013. And then in 2014, he established the agency Midwest Pano, and so took on all liability and was able to start creating, a little bit more custom content through that tour process. And so that kind of brings us to where we are now. So we've been Google certified since the inception of what we call the See Inside program, which means that if the Google car could ram into your business, that's what we do. We just don't break anything on the way in. So we take the same Street View technology into your business. We give, your audience, your clientele, your patrons, your visitors, any business that has foot traffic in and out who's trying to market to the public to come into their business. This is a perfect solution to giving them, just a foresight about what they're going to experience, how clean the facility is, what types of styles and ways, things that you guys offer in there, and just give them a really personal outlook into your business. And so that kind of brings us to present. So we've decided to partner with Urbandale, a few other chambers in and out of Iowa. We also partner with associations to build and establish just really strong relationships with the members. And we're doing it to offer discounts as well and just kind of give free advice on what Google's really looking for on that business profile, because we are certified photographers, we're certified on Google AdWords, analytics and things like that. So we bring lots to the table in terms of what we can provide advice-wise. So kind of moving from there. So we have already gotten to work with quite a few chamber members. We really couldn't fit them all on the page, but some of our longest term members would be, homemakers. We've been working with them for about 6 years. The Iowa Event Center, actually, we worked with them earlier this spring, right before we partnered with Urbandale. And, everybody's pretty familiar with like Wells Fargo Arena and, Hy-Vee Hall and things like that. But we've also gotten to work with places that, aren't necessarily huge. They're not meant, this isn't meant to be a super expensive or a super costly project. This is very, very easy work that we do. And so we've worked with smaller businesses like Exit Realty, Your Private Bar, Bishop's Martial Arts, who is a new member as well, just opened his own business in Beaverdale. So we've just had a really great opportunity to work with a good variety of members, but we're, always looking to help anybody that we can. And so that would be just kind of, some of the members we've worked with. And again, we're looking forward to attending more events and just working with more people. And so that being said, we work with about over 50 industries, I'd say. We counted the other day, I think it's officially 53. But this could be anything. We've worked with a racetrack, out in Boone. We've worked with retail, we've worked with grocery, we've worked with hotels and hospitality. That's what the program was originally designed for, and it's just expanded from there. So we've worked with vision centers, plastic surgery offices. We're working with the Iowa Clinic here shortly. So really any industry you can think of, restaurants, bars, grills, anyone that's going to have foot traffic is going to be perfect to have this type of thing, for their business profile. And so we can kind of move on from that. And so I'm going to go ahead and kind of talk about the Google business profile and why it's important to optimize it. What's nice about the chamber is that, you guys, the chamber services and networks with a lot of different types of businesses, but regardless of business, it's very important to have a strong business profile. And I'm going to kind of talk about why that is. So we're going to just kind of compare and contrast. So the Google business profile, if you guys are familiar, if you do a search for your business, it's going to come up with a kind of what we call like a box structure. It's going to have your photos, Google Maps Street View, your hours, your location. And so you're able to go in and claim the business. So this would be homemakers, for example. So when you type in homemakers or furniture in Des Moines, it's going to come up with this file on the right-hand side. And so that's going to be, mobile friendly, tablet, desktop. So every time this is the first thing that pops up. And when you have a really strong business profile and you have it very filled out and very updated all the time, Google's going to rank you very highly based on those results. And so back to the presentation, what I went ahead and did is she took two different types of business, two different business profiles, but the same industry. So again, we're actually partnered with the Iowa Library Association. So we work with libraries in Iowa. We've expanded outside of that. So we like to use this because I think it makes a lot of sense visually. You can see a library on the left that is not optimized, and then a library we've actually recently worked with who already had a pretty strong business profile and just wanted to use our services to update and continue growing that. And so a not up-to-date profile on the left, you can see that it's missing a lot of information. So your phone number, your business, your website, making sure that you've got relevant images on there, have a review campaign launched so that you've got reviews on there, whether it's, 9 reviews or 900 reviews, you want something to kind of say, hey, we've been reviewed well, people do like to come here, they've had a good experience. And so these are really important things and pieces of information that you want for a Google business profile. And so, when we came to Joplin, which was on the right-hand side, Joplin had things like professional images, relevant images, even just taken by the library staff itself. They had great reviews. They, believe it or not, this is a new building. Joplin, Missouri got hit by an F5 tornado back in 2011. And so the town was basically demolished. They really had to start fresh. And this just goes to show like what they were even able to do just in the past, 10, 11 years to just optimize and increase this. So this is a building that was just built in the last 5 years. And so they've done a great job of optimizing that. And you can definitely tell the differences. And definitely, if you were going to go visit a library, you'd probably want to visit the one on the right and not the one on the left. And so when we talk about including relevant keywords and incorporating things like Google Posts, so again, when people are searching for you guys, they're going to be doing it a number of different ways. If they're looking for, say, orthopedic, or if they're looking for a restaurant, bar, and grill, they're going to be looking for maybe some keywords like relevant phrases. So maybe they're looking for Mexican near me, or maybe they're looking for, medical professional orthopedic. So they're not really quite sure what they're searching for. They know what they're kind of looking for, but maybe they don't know the name of your business yet. And so we want that search to come up with you guys first. And so to do that and to kind of beat out the competition, having things like Google Posts is really great because it's basically Facebook or social media, but you're just copy pasting what you would have posted there and putting it into Google Posts. And so when you log into your business profile, you're actually able to go in and create what we call Google Posts. So actually, I was going to say my marketing director, Millie, she does this for our business as well. And so this one's Midwest Pano. You can add things like graphics, you can add videos, you can add text content. And what that's going to do is anytime someone's looking for maybe something we offer like Google optimization or Google photography or panoramic virtual tours, when they're looking up those key phrases but don't know what or who Midwest Pano is, Google's going to find that Google post. It's going to see that she put those keywords and phrases in there, and it's actually going to bring our business up. And so it's super, super nice to have those. They're free to use with Google. And so you can actually go in, even the Urbandale Chamber, if you wanted to, create a Google post. Any events you guys are hosting, that people are going to be able to find it that way instead of just strictly looking up the chamber. And so again, with this, we talk about, different types of search results. So if you're looking up restaurants near me versus specifically the Mucky Duck Pub, what I like about this is that if you look up top restaurants in Ames, Iowa, obviously there's a ton of search results there. And so depending on, if that would be what I'd say call an organic search. So you don't know what restaurant you're looking for, but you want to pick one of the best ones, one of the most highly ranked. And so when Google's ranking these, again, it's taking into account all of your missing information and, how many posts and reviews that you guys have and photos and things like that. So if you look up top restaurants in Ames, you see that like the Mucky Duck, Boulder Tap House, Aunt Maud's, those are the first 3 that pop up behind any sponsored ads. So those are the ones Google's physically ranking the highest. And it does that based on a number of, factors. And so the 4th one you see is actually Hickory Park. And Hickory Park, if you've ever been to Ames, is like the most well-known barbecue joint. It's been around forever. They actually have 6,000 reviews. Mucky Duck, Aunt Maud's, Boulder Tap only have around 1,000 each. So why would Mucky Duck, why would these other 3 come before Hickory Park? Well, those 3 actually have a panoramic tour done by a Google photographer. Hickory Park doesn't. Do we know the Google algorithm and whether that actually made the difference? If we did, I'd be a billionaire. But clearly Google is ranking it pretty highly. And so we actually have, Google's website. If you ever wanted to see it, you can actually go and find us on here. So we are under that Street View side. You can actually hire a trusted professional and actually, take a look at this website. But they are wanting everybody to show their business inside and out, and they're offering resources to do that because it's going to increase your Google Maps profile, and people are going to find you easier this way. And so another thing that would be great to do, so Millie actually does this for us all the time, having great reviews and feedback. So it's one thing to, send a newsletter out or, ask somebody as they're leaving your office to leave a good Google review. But the second they walk out, they're very, very likely to forget. And so if you can actually give them something like a QR code to scan on their way out where they can do it right then and there, your Google business profile actually has a way of linking that review link so that people can quickly leave one even while they're still with you guys. And so she does this with our businesses all the time. When she meets with people after their tours are created, she can share that link and go, it'd really help us out as a small business if you could leave us a positive review. It's going to help our business profile grow, and we greatly appreciate it, and maybe can offer some sort of incentive for that. And so that's a really easy thing to do as well. I think having a good review campaign is important. Again, this link is free on your business profile, and it's going to increase your visibility online. And so the two things that we find that people are looking for the most are things like reviews and photos. So we're very visual people, especially like say a restaurant or a hotel, for example. I want to know what the beds look like. I want to know if the food looks good. And so when you've got things like maybe you've got a new office and you want to just show the rooms, the privacy of everything. So when we talk about review campaigns, that's a very important thing to do, but then photos are the other thing. And that's really our bread and butter. That's where we come in as well. And so Google, back in 2012, 2013, when our boss joined with Google, they hired, Google trusted photographers. And so there is no such thing as a Google trusted videographer. There's no Google trusted still photo photographers. These photographers only are skilled and certified with Google to do panoramic photography because it's the exact same technology that Street View uses. And so I'll have Niall talk about just the importance of having that visual panoramic imagery on there, and just the process that we use to take these photos with you guys. It's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, so just as Holly was saying, they really only did hire panoramic photographers, and that's because they just rank so much highly with Google. And the biggest thing with having these panoramics is that they're interactive. And so it gives them something to play around with and actually interact with your business a lot more. I kind of like to compare the panoramics to like an online fidget spinner in a sense, and that it's going to hold everyone's attention a lot longer onto your business and actually help to lower bounce rates and draw more traffic into the website as well. And so if you can see, there will also be that Midwest Pano attribution string up in the top left-hand corner. And that's because we will be the ones to publish these to Google for you, since we are that Google certified agency. And so we don't take the pictures and just hand them back to you and say, here you go, they're ready for Google. We will automatically upload those for you. And just as Holly said, since we've been doing it from the inception of the program back in 2014, we are actually a level 10 ranked contributor with Google, which just means that Google has seen so much quality work of ours over time that they are actually ranking our panoramics as highly as they can. And so just as I said, the biggest thing with this is just that it's interactive. So it performs a lot better than still imagery or videography because it gives people the ability to explore at their own pace and really check out what they're wanting to see for your business individually. And so this is how it's all going to be on Google to really be boosting that search engine optimization and your online presence. And what's really cool now is that we can actually take all of these images from Google and put it into what we call our backend platform. And so this is actually something that we can share out on social media, put on the website. And clearly, as you're seeing, we're now able to customize this tour as well to really cater to your needs and help with wayfinding or promoting anything for your business to anyone who's looking into it. And so as we can see, we now have things like this navigation menu on the side where we can actually jump to specific points in the tour. And I think Millie will find one with a hotspot here as well. And so these hotspots are these little dots of information that we're seeing. And so they are actually fully customizable. So you can put different text in there. You can put videos, images, actually links back to different landing pages on your website or onto another website where they can learn more about the resources that you offer. And so this is a great way to promote all of the services or anything that you offer to the community, and also gives that more personal feel as well. So this way you can actually envision yourself going into this business or learning more about it or using their services. And so this is a great way to actually engage with the community a lot more. And what's really cool with this backend platform as well is you will get access to a statistics dashboard so that you can actually see how much traffic you're gaining to the tour and how much people are actually interacting with this tour as well. So you can see that community engagement. And I know this is just a screenshot, but there will be a refer link as well. And I think that's one of the coolest things with this stats dashboard. And it's honestly every marketing person's best friend and their dream, because it actually will show you where they're finding the tour. So since it is so shareable that you can put it on the website, or let's say send it out in a Facebook post, you can actually see, did they find this tour just by going directly to my website, or did they find it from the Facebook post that I made? And so this way you can actually track your marketing outreach methods as well and see which one is performing the best for you. And so that's pretty much that backend platform. The biggest thing is just that it's totally customizable to any of your needs or anything that you're wanting to promote with your space.
And I think people ask a lot too, what does this look like on a website? So I think Millie pulled up some fantastic examples, and what we could do is we could bring up that, like, Joplin, like, was a library that we talked about. So if you type in the Joplin Public Library, so if I'm on the website, if I'm looking for some wayfinding experience, if you go just at their homepage, what's nice is that you as the business actually get complete say. We're not putting things on your website for you. That's up to you guys. And so we provide you with a really easy, just short embed code. It's just like adding a photo. So what we're doing is, it's a platform like this. You can make it as big or as small as you want. Google's actually hosting your photos, so it does not take up any space or any data. The photo sizes are very large and very large files. So what's nice is that you're not having to host any of that on your website itself. This is just an iframe code. And so all of these technologies are great because, again, like Niall said, you can customize them. What I think is cool too is that this really isn't designed just for big or certain types of businesses. We're also in Poplar Bluff, for example, Missouri, and we just shot a OBGYN clinic just because they had some work done. They really want people to see their space, feel comfortable before they come. I think COVID was a big step for Google, in the sense that people really needed to see a space and kind of lower anxieties before approaching these things back in person. Are the masks required? Are they not? But really just kind of getting an idea about where they're going to go, and not feeling like a freshman on campus. These are things that we didn't used to have to think about. But I think in the world we live in today, it's great as a business to be transparent about your space and really become that welcoming environment, even online, because this is the best way to do that. And so kind of as we recap this, again, there's a ton of free technology that you have on your own business profile that you may not have seen or known about. And just knowing that it's very important to continuously update that information, even if you're just changing a few small things here and there. And the reason for that is because Google is the first place someone's going to see you. I know our business website by heart, but I don't know everybody else's. And so when I'm trying to look for you, I'm using Google and the search engine on my cell phone usually to do that. And so the virtual tour panoramics, they're device responsive. You can use them on tablet, desktop, or mobile. And I think it's important that you have a very successful business profile so that you can stay ahead of your competition. If you're on the first page, or if you are number one, it's very important to stay number one, because there's constantly technologies out there that businesses are using to promote their space and get ahead of the curve. And so, yeah, Millie did a great job with the presentation slides. So she's got, I think, a QR code in her link with, any questions that you guys have. Again, I think what's great about the partnership is that we're here, we're your neighbor, we're coming to these events, we're trying to attend more. We've actually got, Niall and Cassidy, who are constantly out kind of introducing themselves, just dropping off the information about the partnership, and just to say, hey, if you ever have any questions or if there's anything we can do to help, we are a free resource for you guys to use in terms of some of that, advice that we can give, like Google Posts and review campaigns, things like that. There's a lot of fun ways that we didn't even talk about today that you can use to make that business profile more successful. As far as the panoramic images go, what I think is a great member benefit to you guys is that because we are partnered solely with the Urbandale Chamber here in this area, you guys are receiving an exclusive discount on panoramic images if those are things that you want for your business profile that other chamber members and other chambers aren't receiving. And so we do 25% off of panoramic images. Typically, these images can be anywhere from $60 to $70 per image, but for Urbandale Chamber members, it's actually $45 for a panoramic. And so what that means is that we only take as many photos as the business is big, or as many as you require. We're not constantly going into staffing offices unless you want to use those for like a hiring campaign. We don't go into bathrooms. We don't go into maintenance closets. So we're really just showcasing the space that people are going to be in and day out. And so for a small office, it might be, a 5 to 10 panoramic requirement, meaning that you're going to take that $45 panoramic and only multiply it times the number of photos that you need or that we might recommend for that space. When we meet with people one-on-one, we actually take a look at your bird's eye view and we can estimate that out for you. And then the hosting for that is the only other cost we have. So the whole thing is tax exempt. There's no cost for travel with Urbandale Chamber members. So it's free to have us come out and estimate that. And then we can go take the pictures. Once we take them, they live and breathe on your Google business profile for years to come. So the hosting platform is the only other thing we have. That's also 50% off for chamber members. And so that's $145 a year. And what that is it's the embed code to put on your website, the shareable link to use, Millie's time helping you customize that content, add those hotspots and navigation, your logos, your colors, and then that ability to look at that stats dashboard. And so that's an annual fee. It's completely optional. If you don't want to, renew it in the future, you don't have to. But those are really the only two costs we have. So the smaller the business, the less pictures you need. The larger the business, typically there's a little bit of a larger marketing budget. And so it really ends up working out either way. But we love working with, any size business, any chamber member, and we're just here to help. So yeah, these would be kind of the QR codes to scan. And again, I know we didn't really have a huge in-person turnout, but Fletcher, did you enjoy it? Good stuff. There we go. So yeah, did I would say Holly, or did anybody else have any questions? My name is also Holly, so this is interesting to me.
That makes it easy for me. I do have a couple questions, and I would like to talk to you offline. I don't want to take up everybody else's time, but we've been really talking about what we can do to up our Google profile in general. And then I've also been talking separately from the Google profile, just in general. We have a lot of people that I think have anxiety around, just making that first phone call to us. Maybe they've been in pain for a really long time, but they just assume they're going to need surgery and they may not, So I think just taking that, figuring out a way to tell that story through photos. I mean, obviously some of it is going to need, more than just a picture or a panoramic video. Like we probably need to do more to tell that story just with social media and different things like that. But I think one thing just related to the profile that I don't know if you can help with is we keep changing like our hours. Like we have Saturday morning hours at our urgent injury clinics, and we'll update it and then it goes away. And so is that partly because it's not optimized like you were talking about, or what sorts of things go into getting that fixed, I guess?
Yes. So has the profile recently changed hands? Was it correct? Was it designed originally under a specific email? Did it switch emails? Has Google,
That is very possible. I am new
Okay.
to my role, so I started at the end of June. So that very well is possible, but I do know that it was having issues prior to that. So I don't think it was necessarily just when the old person left and I came. I think was an older problem. So if you guys have any advice or tips on that, I would love to connect or meet with you or whatever and talk through that, and then talk about next steps to get you guys onto our we have a location in Ankeny, a location in West Des Moines,
on the radar
in Des Moines. Yep. And then we will have our Urbandale location, which will definitely be something we'll want to showcase. But I think even our other locations, and maybe even like our OR suite, for those that do need surgery, I think sometimes just seeing what that looks like.
I can't imagine being any more anxious than going to you guys. Yeah, I completely hear what you're saying.
And just the unknown. I think the unknown of it can just be really scary. And I think about somebody like my dad. He's had knee pain forever, but he's like, oh, I don't want to have surgery. Well, he may or may not need it, but I think just being able to show people, okay, this is what it's like when you walk in. You'll be greeted by these people, and then this is what the next room will look like. And it's kind of just showing that it's a step-by-step process. It's not like they make the call and they're having surgery the next day. I mean, there's a process involved. So I think that would be a really good first step for us to get our Google page, fixed. And then can we utilize those photos on our website and stuff too? Or do they just live and breathe on the Google profile?
So all of the assets belong to the independent locations we shoot at. So do you have different business profiles for each of your locations, I take it?
Yes, but it's something where I think we need to kind of tackle that and make sure we've been doing it right,
Right.
So
Yep.
That's something, now that I've kind of come up for air and I've gotten some other things tackled, this is definitely a priority of mine. So yeah, I would love to pick your brain and talk to your team.
Absolutely. And honestly, Holly, we'll so I know that Cass and Niall are gonna they're gonna do a little bit of handshake and shake hands, kiss babies, but they're I'm just kidding, but they're gonna go out in Urbandale today and talk. I don't know if you'll be at the office, honestly, at the Urbandale office, but if not, I mean, I will basically just touch base on Monday with you if that works. And then or later today if you or later today.
Yeah, I'm in the West Des Moines location. Our Urbandale location isn't open yet. It's not even built yet.
Oh,
so
yeah, okay.
That won't be till this spring. Yeah. So I was gonna say, if you guys are gonna be there, then I would definitely like to be there. But it's in process right now. So
that's
I would
great.
say between Ankeny and West Des Moines and maybe our Des Moines location, we can figure out a way to connect, or I can come to you guys too. We can figure something out. But I'd love to hear from you. So I don't know if you have my email or anything, but otherwise I can send that to you when we get off the call. And
yeah, absolutely. If you actually just want to, so Millie can go ahead and put her email in the chat here. She is going to be the best person. We're always like kind of doing stuff. And so she's always like, hey, Niall or Cassidy, grab by the you got to talk to Holly here. So she's going to be the best person to get with. And so anything that you want to, ask in terms of questions, I think the best thing we can do is maybe do something like this, or a face-to-face where you can meet with Niall or Cass in person. And I think there's a couple questions you asked, just regarding the business profile and, how Google has been a little bit frustrating for you. And I think he's going to have some good advice on that too. So I'd love to pick his brain.
Well, and I would like to think I'm pretty tech savvy, but this is something I've been kind of out of the game for a minute, and I've been doing a different kind of job. And so now I'm kind of back in this marketing seat. And I think so much has changed, and it will continue to. So I'm not afraid to raise my hand and be like, oh, I'm a little out of my depth here. So I definitely wanted to find out how you guys could help.
Google a finicky thing. Sometimes the Street View car even blurs out your Street View image, and you're like, why did it do that? Google has its ways about it, and honestly, a lot of it is still some of that snail mail, believe it or not. So when you're trying to either open a new business, or if you're trying to say, hey, we're changing hours, we're moving locations, something's happening, Google's kind of the last person to get with you, which is kind of very weird, because they are the first place people look to find you. And so I think my boss is going to have some good recommendations. We'll go back and talk with him, but Millie has your information, you have hers. I definitely want to get together and just see how we can help, because that's what we're here for.
Great. That's awesome. I think it'd be one thing if it was just out on there and it wasn't right, but nobody was looking at it. But we have been having a few people that it says it's closed, so they drive all the way to West Des Moines from Ankeny or vice versa. And then they're frustrated that Google wasn't updated, and they think it's something, well, can't you just go in and change it? And I'm like, I've tried. When I look in at my login, it shows correct on my end. Okay. But then when I go in like on my phone, or have someone else get on their phone, it shows as closed. So it's terribly frustrating.
No, Millie's running into a similar issue with our own profile in the sense that it can't decide which phone number it wants to use. She's put in a couple, and then we've got a review from one of our State Farm agents we did their office for that we showed today. He left a really, really pleasant, very nice, very professional review about us, and it doesn't show up under our reviews. So we've got our own things that we're working on with Google to say, knock, knock, hello.
It takes a village sometimes, but okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Holly. Hey, you have a fantastic weekend, and I'd say definitely Millie will reach out. Let's touch base when we're all back tomorrow or next week. Are you going?
Have a good weekend.
You too. Are you attending the Thursday event
next week? I'm planning on it.
Okay, I think we are too. So that's good stuff. Hopefully we can meet up.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I look forward to it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Holly. Hey, have a great rest of your Friday.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Okay.